video, I would like to take you through how you can file your income tax return using the pre-populated ITR in KRA portal. See, this is a new add-on in the KRA portal where you can be able to file your returns using the auto-populated income tax return sheets, which are Excel sheets like the one which you usually do manually. So just show you what you're supposed to do. Then the prerequisite for these, you need to have your P9 form with you, because all you know that system is prone to errors. So you can get the amount which have been pre-populated in the KRA portal and the amount in your invoice, they are not correlated. So let us get started. So to get started, you just need to get into the iTax portal by just searching for iTax and getting to the iTax website. Then you need to enter your KRA pin here. So I've entered my KRA pin here and then click next. You need to enter the pin and also the password. You also need to do a simple mathematical computation, which is usually being given here, which is 37 minus 13, which is technically 24. Then you need to log in. When you log in, basically, what you're supposed to do, you need to come to where we have the option returns and then click file returns. So when you come to file returns, you just need to select the type. The type is already auto-populated in self-assessment. The tax pin is already auto-populated here. The tax obligation is income tax resident, and then click next. After doing that, you'll be taken into this interface. We need to download the auto-populated ITR return, which is the income tax return. Then just click above it. It will be downloaded. So then we click OK. It is automatically downloaded in the computer. As you can see here, it is downloading after clicking above it. So this is auto-populated Excel sheets. So they are making your work easier when filing your return in 2026. So I'll just get back into my file manager here. Let me come to the file manager and then come under downloads. So the ITR form is here. So what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to basically click above it. I had others here which I had already pre-downloaded, so I can delete them to avoid confusion. So let me delete them. Okay, fair enough. Okay, the one which I have downloaded is this one. So what I would recommend before opening this zip file and opening this Excel sheet, first thing first, to avoid macros blocking you from opening this document, which a lot of people get through and they fail to file their return on their own because they think it's complicated, you are supposed basically to click above the zip file first before you open the Excel sheet. Then come to where we have properties. Then unblock this document to make it not being rejected by the macros in your Microsoft Office. Then hit apply and hit OK. Then from there, you can head on and extract content of this document. So let us go ahead and extract the content of this document. Okay, so you can get the Excel sheet, which you need to use to file return here. You click just above it and open it with Excel. Kindly don't open it with WPS. You'll be blocked by macros and will not be able to file your return. So when you open it using the Microsoft Excel, so you get this document here. So it is here. As you can see, this document is already auto-populated with all the taxpayer information. So in case you have withholding tax, you just include you have other incomes here and click yes, and automatically there will be additional section which will be added here, which are here, which you can see here. Let me show you. You can see additional sections here where you can put profit and balance sheet information. But in my case, this client doesn't experience withholding income subject to withholding tax. That is the incomes originating from consulting services and also interest from Treasury Bills and Board. So from there now, I'll go ahead and continue with the normal filing of return, where we need to come to the employment income. So in the employment income, our covenant is that you must compare what is appearing in the pre-populated ITR form and what is in your P9 form. They are technically correlated. So as you can see, we need to confirm everything which is pre-populated is correct. You can confirm the PIN of the employer, the gross amount, which is here, and which should be here. So you just get back into a P10 form and confirm what have been pre-populated is the correct data. As you can see, is what has been pre-populated is this income. So it was able to accumulate the correct data. So we can go ahead in the sheet and see that everything is correct. So we just get direct to the detail of the payee. So the detail payee, you can see the taxable salary is of 474,628.35, and the one which is in the P9 form, which is here, it is the chargeable pay. So the taxable salary is the chargeable pay of 459,192. So can you identify the discrepancy which I was telling you? This is the discrepancy which I was saying. So regardless that these pre-populated sheets, they are so beneficial and they save time, you need to be cautious enough to compare them with the P9 form which you have. So let's take this correct value and autocorrect the pre-populated form. So it can make your work easier when filing return, but don't be ignorant to fail to come here and auto check what you are getting. So let me adjust it with the correct value in the P9 form. So the tax payable on taxable salary. So how do we calculate this? Even this is a wrong figure. So how do we calculate this? To calculate the tax payable on the taxable salary, what you're supposed to do, I need to get back into the P9 form. To get that amount, you need to get the summation of monthly relief, which is here, and in this monthly relief, you are supposed to add it to pay amount, which is the amount of tax which is deducted from income tax. This is basically the income tax, which is the pay as you earn. So the summation of these two, it gives you the taxable pay. So what you need to do, I need to get into my calculator and show you what I'm saying. You need to take the summation of 45,000, which is here, 45,207. Let me take the amount, 45,207. Let me copy and come and paste it in my calculator. Added 2 to this amount, 29,950. 29,950. Let me copy it here. $29,950. Let me just write it manually to save time. 29,950. 29,950 added to 29,950. So this is the summation of that. So this is the amount of taxable pay which is erroneous in the document. So I know a lot of people may ask themselves why this monthly annual personal relief is exceeding the set threshold of 28,800. So this accountant did the summation of the annual personal relief added to the annual housing levy relief of this amount. That's why the total relief is giving us this figure. So we shall get back to the Excel form, which is here. I need to pin it here. So when we get back to the Excel sheet, which is here, we need to enter the amount of taxable pay as the summation of that amount. Then you can notice, because the amount of tax deducted, which is pay, is this amount, to know you are correct, the difference between the taxable pay on taxable salary, raise the pay, it should give you the annual personal relief. That is how you usually identify if you are correct. But in your case, it will be giving you a value of 28,800 in case your accountant will not be doing the addition of affordable housing levy relief and the annual personal relief. So that's why even if you get the pre-auto-populated form, you need to be curious and compare it with your P9 form to avoid maybe overpaying or underpaying your taxes. So bearing in mind we have done that, we need to come to the tax computation and do the necessary adjustments. So as you can see here, you can see the amount of pension contribution has improved as 30,276. So you need to compare the value with the value in the P9 form. So let us get back into the P9 form. So you need to check the actual amount, which is here. So this one is correct, since you can notice it is equal to the one in the P9 form. So also what we need to check again is this elephant in the room, affordable housing levy. As you can notice, this value which is here, it is understated. This is not the actual value of the affordable housing levy. So we need to do some adjustments. So to do some adjustments, as you can realize from my income here, let me get back to the P9 form. From my income here, you can notice that my income, my gross salary is subject to an annuity. So there is no change in the value of my taxable salary. So what I will do, because as you know, based on the act, how the government has communicated to us, the affordable housing levy is technically 1.5% of employee and employee based on the gross monthly salary. So because so is 1.5 of this month, 1.5 of this month, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. That is the actual value. So to adjust it in the P9 form, I'll just take 1.5% of this gross amount, since my salary was an annuity, it was not fluctuating in the yearly basis. So to get the correct value of the affordable housing levy, I'll just get back into my calculator, which is here. I'll take, let me clear, 0.0155 or 1.5% of 511,200, which will be giving me a value of 7668, which is here. So I can just copy this value and put it where we have the affordable housing levy amount in the form. So it is here. So we just come here, paste the amount, remove this comma, and then hit enter. So the other elephant demagogue in the room is the shift. So also shift is subject to 2.75 of your gross annual salary. So I'll just come here and take 0.0275 multiplied by 511,200. So give me an amount of 14,058. But you remember, we had an annual personal relief of affordable housing relief of 1150. If I'm not wrong, let's confirm in the P9 form. Yes, of 1150.2, this amount, which is here. So previously in this Excel sheet, when filing return, there was a section L, where you are claiming this relief. But now I'm given this relief and I don't know where I can claim them, because The accountant thought he was very clever when doing this thing, and he combined it with the personal relief. But do you know, when you combine it with the personal relief, this personal relief has been input as a ceiling that you cannot be able to exceed this amount in this form. So what I will do to claim this relief, I need to overstate the amount of SHIF, or social health insurance fund. I need to overstate it in order to adjust the amount. So to overstate it, it means this value after calculating the value of the affordable housing, which I have already input here. I'm sorry, since I had confused it with the SHIF. So I need to first input the amount of SHIF here, which is 14,000. Though it has never paid for us anything. 14,058. Then I need to take this value of the affordable housing, which I had already input here, and overstate it with that amount which I'm given as relief in order to claim the benefit. So I need to come here, copy the amount, get into my calculator, let me clear, enter it here, and then do its summation with 11,150.2. Then click OK. So getting the amount as 818.2. I'll just copy it and come here and input the amount here and hit and remove these commas because it cannot be interpreted, and it is here. So this is the only means how I can be able to claim for that relief. There is no other method, since, as I informed you before, after this sheet of the employment income, there was sheet L where we could be able to do that adjustment. So when you are through and you are sure you have done everything correctly, what you need now is to validate these sheets and upload them in KRA. Though it is auto-populated as they are saying, but you need to reference your P9 form to ensure that you are submitting correct data to avoid understating or overstating your taxes. So you just need to hit validate. So, and after hitting validate, it will just take some time to validate, and then you can upload the ITR sheets which will be generated after validating in the KRA portal. So let me show you what will happen so that we will be able to work together, so that I show you and ensure you do everything correctly. But this is the method which you use. So it technically seems to be manual, so it is simple, but you need to ensure everything is being entered correctly. Also, you also need to be aware of how you'll be able to claim the relief, since I don't know where that sheet was removed from here, because it was so nice to help you offset your tax liabilities. So I'm being told my sheets are ready, so that's why I was giving you straight to validate. So this is just an income tax return zip file. So you need to, when it is generated, you just need to ensure where it has been saved. Like mine has been saved at the document. Also, you need to know the time when they were generated at 21:03 with the 45 second. Then I can say okay. So to upload the sheet now, you need to get back into the KRA portal, come into this section, click choose file, ensure the period is correct. In case you are filing the original return, ensure this section is showing original, not amended. Then you get and choose the file which you want to upload. Come at the download. So the file which I have downloaded, it was downloaded at 9 p.m. So I have downloaded a lot of things, so give me time. So it was saved as the documents and downloaded at 9. Okay, let's be patient. 903. So it is this is a coincidence. I did this in 2025. It wanted to contradict me. No. So the correct one is this one. So you just need to upload it here. You fill some information here. Do you have rental property? In my case, no. I agree, and then submit. After you are good with what you are submitting, you can click OK, but in this case I will not click since this is for demonstration purposes and I want to demonstrate another thing with this Excel sheet. Then after clicking and uploading the form, you'll be able to download your acknowledgement letter and you have successfully the file you are written using the auto-populated IT1 return Excel sheets. So basically, that is the simplified method which has been introduced in 2026 of filing your taxes, and also remembering the Shuru, which have been integrated with WhatsApp, where you can be able also to file your taxes using a bot. I don't know if you believe a bot or we just believe interacting with human being. It is a question of discussion and the movement which we need to see in individual when filing their taxes. So we need to see if you'll be able to increase the revenue collection this year. So basically, thank you for watching. In case you need to consult anything about taxes, either withholding tax, VAT returns, and also income tax, you can feel free to reach me using my contact in the description for affordable fees. And also you can reach me through my email full time now, and we can have conversation and ensure you align yourself with the best practice of filing tax and VAT, and also dealing with the withholding VAT, and to avoid the good guy, the ugly guy, and we have the good guy, the ugly guy, and the bad guy. So have a nice time, and may Almighty God bless you.